Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host.
You know what else I'll do?
What?
I'll distract you.
Tom. And today's video, I just want to kind of cover the Slim PlayStation 5 that's going to be coming out this holiday season. And why I think it's one of the scummiest moves from a company. And this is coming from no hate towards Sony. I very much enjoy Sony products, Sony games, but I also enjoy video games in general because I don't wave a certain flag. The hat might be blue, but trust me, the heart is not just Sony. You understand? But anyways, to me, it's such a huge, scummy move for them to do with their hardware and their fan base. And I just want to kind of talk about it, so let's just jump into it.
I'm at the door.
So, as you can see, if you don't live under a rock and you play video games or you have your pulse on the video game news, you would have known that Sony announced a PlayStation 5 Slim. Two different models, of course. You have your regular PlayStation 5 with the disc drive, which is the one that I have, and then you have your digital edition. Now, there's a couple of things that I don't like about this. At first, I thought, oh, this is a great thing. 3 years in, almost 4 years in to the console cycle, it's about time for a refresh of Slim models and whatnot. More efficient models of consoles coming through, so it made sense. But after that, the details that rolled out were very questionable. And it wasn't until, a week, maybe 2 weeks after this announcement that I really started to turn the gears in my head and think about this and realize, oh, shit. What a lot of people think Microsoft's going to do by buying all these publishers with video games, Sony's actually doing, and no one's really talking about this shit. So what do I mean? Just based off this picture here, you would think that everything that you have or that you would need would come with the console. But you would be wrong. Now, as you can see down this way here in the right corner, you can zoom in if you have a phone or whatnot. If you can't read that, it says vertical stand sold separately. I'm a red flag. So, with the original PlayStation 5, whether it's a digital or a disc version, it comes with the stand. Albeit, it's a shitty stand, but it comes with the stand, right? And I know what you're thinking. I've seen it all over Twitter. I've seen it all over YouTube. People are trying to justify a $20, a $15, a $30 stand, whatever price it is. I'm sure we might run into it when we scroll down here a little bit more. But the problem isn't that it's being sold at a certain price. It could be $5. The problem is it's the principle. It's the ethics to the consumer, which is you and I who are buying these things. And taking a stand away from a console that come with the previous iteration is not consumer friendly, regardless of the price. It could be $2. It's still not anti-consumer. Here's another big red flag. The PlayStation Digital Edition Slim model now has the option of adding an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc to the digital edition. Well, everyone's been wanting this feature from both Xbox and Sony in the first models. Now that we've got this, it raises a bit of concern. For one, when you first connect it, it needs an internet connection to, I guess, sync up to the hardware, which that in it of itself is a problem. I don't give a shit what people are trying to justify. Oh, well, you're using the internet to upload videos, so it's the same thing. But it's really not the same thing. And if you can't think outside that little box that you're put in, I don't know what to tell you. I can lead a horse to water. I can't make him drink. I can show you the door, but you got to walk through it. And if you can't understand why someone would have concerns for that feature, for just that alone, then I don't know what to tell you. So aside from it being the first-time internet connection to set up with your console, why isn't this available for the current digital edition? Because, as we all know, Nothing's changing about how these consoles function. So if you can do it for this digital edition, there should be no reason why the current digital edition doesn't have this option already. And there's no justifying it at this point at all. So if we go on a little further, it talks, a little bit about how much space it's going to save you compared to the previous models. And it gives you some price comparisons here. The Blu-ray disc drive is going to be an $80 edition. That's crazy. If we scroll down a little bit more, it shows you how it's going to, be implemented. And it makes you wonder, is this exactly how the disc model is? We're not going to know until we actually have these models available to us and someone breaks it down. But that's so crazy that it's just something as simple as this. Here's another concerning thing. It says right in here in this blog post, once the inventory of the current PS5 models have sold out, the new PS5 will become the only model available.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It's really scummy anti-consumer practices that's going on here. That's really here at foot. And if we scroll down a little bit more, it does the price comparison breakdown. This is a third red flag in this whole thing, which is the digital edition is now $50 more than the current digital edition. The one that's $3.99 right now if you go out to a store and buy? Yeah, the new edition's $50 more for nothing because you're getting smaller console, but you're also missing the stand that the current edition has. So they're charging you more for less. You're getting no improvements other than the storage.
Orange, 4-inch door hinge and storage and 8 porridge.
But if you can't delete a game and reinstall, that's your problem. That's a you problem right there. And you might say, well, if you can't afford a stand, then that's a you problem. And it's not even about affording a stand. It's the fact that it comes with the current models and it's being taken away from the manufacturer, and they're charging you more for less. If we scroll down just a little bit more, we get a picture that is embarrassing, in my opinion. If you don't opt in to buy the stand for either edition of the console, it comes with one. And it's this little flimsy flip-down gimmick that's supposed to hold your very expensive console in a secure place. What more can I say about this? Now, I really wasn't going to make a video about this because honestly, I don't plan on buying this console, so it really didn't affect me in any real way up until the thought that I had yesterday. It really became a cause for concern for me when it comes to the market, when it comes to the console marketplace. And what I realized was all of these hardware moves I didn't see happen until we had the CEO of Xbox, Phil Spencer, say on a podcast that they are not in a race. They're not in a console race with Sony or Nintendo. Now, if you know even just a little bit about how market shares and the market leaders work, if you come out and say something like this, what do you think your competitor is gonna do? The only thing that I can think of is as soon as Sony heard the news that Xbox isn't in a hardware race with them, well, you're basically giving the monopoly to the competitor. So everyone crying about Microsoft monopolizing video games and publishers and developers, what do you think is happening with the console market? Phil Spencer says we're not competing, we're not concerned basically about our hardware sales because we're not trying to be number one compared to Sony and Nintendo. And then Sony releases this news. We get earbuds hardware, a Portal hardware, New Slim models that are higher priced with less things included. Hardware. Oh, I forgot about the VR2, the PSVR2. That's hardware. So if you have any critical thought process, you can see that the person that's relying on hardware sales are pushing hardware like they've never done before. And it's a really concerning thing when you've invested into the ecosystem and some of the hardware to a company that now you can clearly see are making very scummy practices, anti-consumer practices with their hardware. What's to come in the future since no one's competing with them? We have Nintendo, sure, but it's not competing as far as hardware goes. That's clear when we look at the Nintendo Switch, when we look at the Switch OLED. They're not vying for power with their hardware. They're more concerned about software, which is their IPs. And it seems to be that's how Microsoft and Xbox, they are focusing on the same thing, which is their software. That's why we have Game Pass. When you think Xbox, it's pretty much synonymous with Game Pass now. It's become just pretty much as big as the name, the brand Xbox. Then what's going to happen is they're monopolizing the whole fucking hardware market by doing these practices. If you can have your own opinion, I have my own opinion. But if you at least can't see that what they're doing now is very concerning, I don't know what to tell you, man. Your opinion is just wrong in this matter. I see things as someone who's played video games their entire life. I see things from a consumer standpoint. And this shit that they're doing is very much anti-consumer. They've raised their prices on their hardware. They've raised their prices on their services. They've raised the prices of video games. They were the fucking leaders that pushed $70 video games. They are the ones who led everything in price increases, literally for everything. They increased their services for nothing. They added nothing to their services. I have their PlayStation Premium. They added nothing to it. There's no justification for increasing the price of their service if they have not added to it. Now, I didn't see any fanboys come out and create an uproar about this on the Sony side. But the minute that Microsoft said, we're going to increase our Game Pass by like $2 or $1 or whatever, these fanboys lost their damn mind. But that's really all I have for you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Spider-Man 2 like I am, playing the shit out of it. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth at this moment. I'm taking my time with it. I'm playing Lords of the Fallen. I'm playing Lies of P still. I've been playing Fortnite again, trying to level up the Battle Pass before the OG map comes back. So, you know, I have my hands in a little bit of everything here when it comes to the video games. Like I said, I think you should be concerned as well when you see the market leader raising the prices on quite literally everything. But that's all I have for you. You enjoy your day or night. And as always, it's been your boy, it's been real, and I'm out later.